Obama is. The idea was, they used to say in Egypt, ignorance is evil. So the artist designed the ears to be big, with the idea, the bigger the ear, the more you could hear. And the more you heard, the more knowledge you would possess. And the more knowledge you would possess, the more powerful you would be. Isn't that something we should be teaching our children? Don't run from knowledge, run to it.
That's right.
A lot of us run from it because with knowledge comes responsibility.
Yep.
Look at that. This is all the same king. I photographed these in museums all over the world. This is in Vienna, Austria. If Europeans don't do anything else exceedingly well, they steal. Look. See, these are the ones you don't see in the books. These are the ones you don't see in the Discovery on the Discovery Channel. This, and you damn sure don't see them on BET. Unfortunately. Oh. Look at those locks. The happy to be nappy hair. Now here's one of a grandmother and her grandson. If you were to ask me, how did Egyptian civilization last for thousands? It's hot in here. Last for thousands of years. It's because of the close family relationships. We can learn something from that. That's called Sankofa, to reach back and fetch it. This is Hatshepsut. She's the most powerful of the female kings. She was feminine in every way, but she was a king. Thank you, sister. And this is what her significant other did for her. Dug this temple, not a tomb, but a temple, out of the cliffs of Africa. How'd you like for your man to do that for you? What a Valentine present that would be. What a Christmas or Kwanzaa gift that would make. But a queen deserves that. An African woman deserves only the best. These are carved on the surface of that temple. Look at there. And these are the first examples of people we call Marines, because they went on a seagoing voyage. This is a depiction, first depiction that I'm aware of God Amen. It means the invisible one, the unseen one, the hidden one. That's where we get the expression, Amen. Amen. I don't even have to say anything. Look at the hair. That's not from the Koreans. This is Amenhotep the Magnificent. All these, and this is his queen. Because what good is a king without a queen? This is Queen Tai.
Queen Tai.
Akhenaten. Barack Obama. Queen Nefertiti. And you know she was fine. Holding hands, they were romantic. They fell in love. The Greeks, at least Plato, thought that a romantic relationship between a man and woman was a form of insanity. They thought if a man fell in love with a woman or a woman fell in love with a man, they must be crazy. And that is where we get the term platonic relationships. I've been in a lot of relationships, sisters and brothers, a lot. And sometimes sisters say, I don't want to get too deep. You know what that means. I just want a platonic relationship. Do you know what you were talking about? Because a platonic relationship was between an older man and a young boy. And I ain't interested in that.
Okay.
Nefertiti. And that's where she was supposed to be buried. I took that picture at the entrance of her to her tomb. These are some of their daughters. This is from the tomb of Tutankhamun. A colleague of mine says they're doing ancient yoga. And that's King Tut. That's literally him. From his tomb. And there he is. And again, who does that look like?
Michael Jackson.
It does look like Michael Jackson. Just look at the hair. I could do a whole presentation just on the hair. And these are the actual extensions. These are Ramses the Great. I took this picture in Budapest, Hungary. This is King Taharqa, a Nubian of the 25th dynasty. And that's his pyramid. And I was able to sit on his pyramid. This was a sacred site called Gebel Barkel. These are people from the 25th dynasty, the Kushite dynasty. This is a bad sister named Amenirtis and her tomb. This is an early example of martial arts. The nation should be proud of this. Before Bruce Lee, before Jackie Chan, Africans were practicing martial arts in the Valley of the Nile. We did almost everything first because we are the first.
That's right.
Shabaka. And these are ancient tombs in Sudan. I left there to come here. This is the concept of the principle of MAAT, the moral law of the universe: truth, justice, righteousness, order, harmony, reciprocity. This is Imhotep, and that's Imhotep's mother. Who was Imhotep?
Genius.
The world's first scientist, the father of medicine, the first spoken word artist, a priest, a magician, the prime minister, an astronomer, and he was a black man. Why should we be ashamed of who we are?
That's right.
Why should we be ashamed of who we are? It's only because you don't know who you are. If we knew who we were, we'd change everything overnight. And that's why this isn't taught in the schools. That's why this information is suppressed. You can just see the comparison. That's Imhotep's mama. And this is a photograph I took from southern Ethiopia. And you can see the comparison. This is from the 30th dynasty.
That's right.
And these are all people from the south. Not from Egypt, but from Sudan. From Carthage. Nigeria. Ancient Iran. Jordan. China. China. This is the brother who introduced martial arts to the Far East. From Japan. From Vietnam. From Thailand. And Thailand, and again, and again. And Cambodia. And Cambodia. This is a temple in Cambodia that Africans built. It's called Angkor Wat. This is in Europe. This sister that I just showed you a moment ago, called the Venus of Willendorf, is a 5-inch statue of a black woman from Europe 25,000 years ago. She's got a special room in this museum just for her. These are all from ancient Europe. Look. Ancient Italy. A black saint. And finally, the Americas. The Olmec heads. There are 20 of them. And to my knowledge, I'm the only person that's seen and photographed all 20. A person who was very, very important in reintroducing me to Mexico is Mother Taneta Muhammad. Beautiful woman. She had a presence about her. She was the sort of person that would walk into a room and everybody would just instinctively get up and stand until she was seated. She invited me to Mexico, I think, in 2011. And I've been going back ever since to see these heads. Because even in the Americas, our history does not begin with enslavement. Look, it's been said that the reason they look like that is not because they were black people. There was a massive earthquake. And the earthquake caused these heads to roll over in the mud for a long time. And when they stopped rolling, they looked like black people. Look at this one. Apparently he rolls so long, he got braids in the back of his head. So if your money is short, You didn't spend all your money if Kris Kringle didn't come. And you spent all your money on Christmas and you want your hair braided. Wait for an earthquake. And be prepared to roll around for a long time and they'll hook you up. This is called El Negro. That literally means the black. Look at these. All these are from ancient Mexico. And unfortunately, these are not taught in the schools in that neck of the woods. And so the Afro-Mexicans are among the people that I've encountered, they have the lowest sense of self-esteem. That's why Mother Tanetta invited me down there to speak to them. I'm almost done. From Guatemala, Belize, Peru, from Canada, and from Canada. One more. And this is the last one. I photographed this in a museum in Boston about 2 weeks ago. Sisters and brothers, we have a history that is second to none. We have a history we should be proud of. And even if we're going to talk about enslavement, let's talk about resistance to enslavement.
That's right.
We did more than suffer. I don't want to minimize the suffering of our ancestors, but we did more than pick cotton.
That's right.
Malcolm X used to say, cotton picking don't move me.
Right.
But resistance moves me. The African who came late, unfortunately a lot of that is carried over. The African who feigned sickness. The African woman who put poison in the master's food. I can relate to a sister like that. The African who ran off. The African who organized rebellions. And you know something else I just found out about, a form of resistance that's really staggered me. Infanticide. That some African women actually killed their children because they would not allow them to live a life as a slave. The African who tried to keep the family together in spite of everything. We just had Christmas. A lot of us forget one time we were the Christmas presents. See, a lot of us don't want to talk about this because it's painful. You know that in Senegal, where I'm taking a group next month, you had dungeons for children. I want you to think about that for a moment. The women and men and children were separated and done so were. How did slavery work? For hundreds of years, our ancestors were hunted. And they weren't slaves, they were people. Mothers and fathers and husbands and wives and aunties and uncles and grandparents and children. And they were farmers and merchants and teachers and ministers and all the things in society. And they were captured. And they were forced to march to the coast of Africa with shackles and chains on their hands and their feet. And then, as they got close to the coast, they were able to take a last bath so they would be clean when they were taken to the auction blocks. But even then, they had their shackles and chains on. And then they were taken to the coastal dungeons. Goree Island, Fort James, Elmina, there were many of them. And the women and men and children were separated. But in Senegal, there was a dungeon just for children. I've been in it. It's called the infant's dungeon. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. I have a young daughter, and I want you to try to imagine your child called, Daddy, Mama, where are you? Right. I'm afraid, Daddy. This man is hurting me. I'm hungry, I'm cold. And this went on for so long. We are still affected by that. Right. Right. And yet we survived all of that. And it seems to me that we owe our ancestors something. Right. We owe them to say, you didn't die in vain, you didn't suffer in vain. Right. And we're here to redeem you. And programs like this allow us to redeem our ancestors, to pledge allegiance to the ancestors and to pledge allegiance for those who are to come after us. I salute you. Hotel.
That was amazing. Please, please, please Put your hands together one more time. I salute you for what you do. I salute you for carrying on tradition of teaching our people. For that I say Ashe. Asante. It was amazing. At this time, I would like to call our brother up again, Dr. Umar Bey, for the presentation. Obi.
Now, how's that presentation? Information is for us to have shared. You want to find out more about him? He has a website called drrenoko.com. Please visit it, order his books, watch his videos. He is a great teacher from Baton Rouge. Dr. Renoko, we have a gift for you, sir. Banana bread? Yes, sir, you have banana bread as a gift also. Yes, we have for you. From the home of the greatest fashions in the... Okay. We have from Zamos Fashion for you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, over here, sir. We have you all.
So,
Stand over here so you can see it. Isn't this beautiful?
also in your bag, I'm going to give you your bag. We have a brother that's outside, that's an artist. His name is Brother Ghost, Antoine Mitchell. He's out there. He launched his comic book line. It's called Sankofa's Embrace. He himself signed it and numbered it just for you. Make sure you guys check him out. He's an amazing artist, and he just launched his second edition of Sankofa's Embrace. So please make sure you patronize the brother, but we want to make sure you have something personal.
Thank you very much. I haven't been to Baton Rouge in a very long time, but I've got to come back. You know why? Because the people have been so nice to me. Very, very beautiful people here. And I love you very much. It's been an honor to spend a little time.
I just mentioned his name. That's my brother right there, Antoine Ghost Mitchell, artist of Sankofa's Embrace. Also, we have a gift as well for our brother who's always here, who's always supporting us, Dr. Rackley. Please come forward. You too also have Sankofa's Embrace, signed and numbered by that gentleman right there behind you. And also you have a beautiful piece in there as well from the Zamos. We thank you for everything that you do. And we want to show you appreciation. Y'all, please put your hands together for these two kings, Dr. Rashidi, for all that they do, and continue to teaching our people and educating our people. Ashe. So at this time, we are at the rejoicing segment. We're going to have explanation of Zawadi by Mount Carmel Baptist Church, Baton Rouge Girl Scouts. Please make your way to the front.
Umar, can you put the light back on? The lights? Thank you.
Zawadi is the symbol of the labor and love of parents as well as the commitments made and kept by the children. We can honor and teach the principles of Kwanzaa through the act of gift, or Zawadi, giving and by the selection of a gift.
Zawadi Kareem, the creator of Kwanzaa, provides a
basic guidelines for the giving of gifts on the last day of Kwanzaa. The most important guidelines are children are the main receivers of Kwanzaa. Gifts are given to recognize commitments made and kept. Gifts are not mandatory or extravagant. The Kwanzaa gifts should include 2 items: a book and a heritage symbol. And these gifts should serve as recognition for the receiver's commitment to a principled and productive life that benefits the community. The Wadi never served as a substitute for attention and environment with the children. Kwanzaa jewelry are also items that can serve as heritage symbols. And equal or better in value are the items that you make yourself use in your own creative or tumba.
Thank you. Y'all put your hands together. So at this time, the announcements. Okay. All right. So at this moment, we are going to give our Zawadis. So we will start with our youngest first. So we're going to call up the ages from 0 to 6 years old. Newborns to 6 years old. Please come over here to this table right here where no running, no running. Hey, Olu, we have a little music. Y'all give it up for our DJ Olu. Club Culture Downtown. Olu's been around a long time. We used to do open mic poetry at Club Culture.
To welcome our very special guests. They don't come bigger than this. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome one of the greatest musicians out of Africa, Mr. Innocent Idibia, aka Tubaba.
All right. Let's do 7 to 12 years old. 7 to 12 years old. No running, no running. No running, no running, no running. Thank you. Sing your song. Everybody here. Thank you.
Oh, that's her.
They gotta come back with some more. We're ready to get to look at a bunch of shit. That's what you want to do. I want to shake her. Mona, get your shaker, girl. Pretty shakers too. I'm gonna have some pretty ones.
I would like to make sure to let you guys know, please, 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 make sure you patronize all of the vendors that are in the hallway that have brought some beautiful products from skin and hair care, books, jewelry, you have African clothing, you have honey, and much, much, much more. So please, and I guess he also has a table outside, so make sure you patronize the table. Also, I would like to give a major thank you to Dr. Anderson for allowing us the opportunity to be here in this facility. Sorry, Dr. Andrews. Now, please put your hands together for Dr. Andrews.
But as you may know, the new first is officially closed.
Hey, let me see one of them shakers.
This kind you want?
Oh, no, I gotta go.
Oh, let me get that.
Yeah, look, he wanted it.
Let me get that one.
He wanted
Excellent program, so I really encourage you. As Mandela said, education is the best weapon for change. We want to make sure change happens. And as you all know, if you've never been to Africa, you need to make that pilgrimage. I went to Africa for the first time in the year 2000 to Ghana. And as you know, the Ghanaians now are welcoming back the African diaspora. So I encourage all of you to go to Africa and understand what it means for us to be on the continent of Africa. And so really when Brother Muhammad talked about the
so much for supporting us all these years. And then we say thank you, Ashe. We are grateful. All right, everybody. All right, then everybody, we get ready to take it to the next level. Y'all ready? No. Let's try it again. My family, my beautiful, black, strong family. We get ready to take it to the next level. Are y'all ready? Coming to the stage, get ready to set up. I'm saying come to the stage, but they're going to be right down here down front. So you are going to enjoy, you are going to dance, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah, green catcher and this here, huh? Yeah, I take it with me. Keep all these here.
Louisiana, and every time they come here, they like to waist up. So I want you guys, everybody in your seat, I want y'all to get loose. Shake it. Let me see you shake it. Shake it. Shake what your mama gave you. Come on, let's see the shoulders up. Let me tell you. Some of you guys will get a chance to dance today. So I need for y'all to be loose. If y'all need to stretch in your seat, go ahead and stretch it out in your seat. If you need to touch your toes, go ahead and touch your toes. I need for y'all to be free and loose. I want y'all to enjoy this beautiful drumming that's getting ready to take place. And as soon as my sister gets ready, as soon as she cues me up and she normally gets the microphone, you ready? All right, y'all put your hands together. A Kumbuka dance true always. Kumbuka dance true always.
Ujima.
Wait, did he? Come back in. Hamarigani!
Ujima. Ujima.
My black people doing out here. I'm saying black people because y'all know what the big debate going on now is, right? You got the African people of the diaspora and the transatlantic slave trade, right? Y'all heard about that, right? The indigenous argument with the Aborigines, you know, the people who say that the Indians was here before the Africans, so they ain't really Indian, they're not African, you heard about that, right? Okay, I'm here to say all of it's correct. Because the African people and the Indian people and the Haitian people and the Jamaican people, the Dominican Republic people, the Colombian people, the Vietnamese people, the German people, the Japanese people, and the Chinese people, original people was us.
Hey.
I'm not going to get into a divisive argument about who was here first, the Indian or the African. The truth is, the black man was the indigenous man to the entire planet. You know what's the funny thing? While we say we came from Africa, the doggone say they came from a star. Hello. So while we're talking about the planet, they're talking about the galaxy. So let's just set the record straight. We are an African people, a black people. And we come in many, many shades, many paths, and the diversity is beautiful. That we need to take this time when we go into 2020 to find ways to manifest the inclusive Saba. Don't just say the words at this time of the year, but really practice that unity and appreciating how there is diversity in the unity. And we need to come together. We got to stop letting these little things divide us. Oh, she a vegan. I eat meat. She a Christian. I'm Ifa. Oh, he's a Muslim. I'm Seventh-day Adventist. The reality is this one God. What you call him? Just make sure you call him. As an African people, we know that there's somebody bigger than us. But we call him all kinds of names. So today, we're just so happy that we are included in your family. I don't know, where's Nazam? How many years have we been coming up here? 30? Wow. Nazam was getting really old. We've been coming here for 30 years. And we're just so happy to be a part. So we know y'all a little hot, but just pretend like a hurricane happened and the power was out. And so this probably need to be anyway. So we don't still look pretty because, you know, sweat make our skin beautiful. You know, it's not going to crack, so it's all good. So we're going to get into the dances. I'm telling you right now, we're going to dance. Y'all know what we do. We're going to call y'all up. Don't be acting like, I'm not coming. I don't want to hear all of that. So first I want to ask my beautiful elders over here, do we have permission to dance?
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm going to ask your permission. Are you going to dance? All right. That's all I want to know.